Hey everybody, it's Aaronator here. We got our 26th episode of our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode here on the PS4, guys. In the last episode, we went and did the year 5 draft, I believe it was. No, year 4. Year 4 draft. And we ended up making quite a few moves in that. So make sure you go check out that episode. It was pretty big. Let's go to contracts so you guys can see who we drafted. We did trade Erik Johnson, and we added 3 very good defensemen in this draft. Here are the 3 defensemen: Andrew Bennett, Steven Lutz, and Leonard Osborne. These guys, Osborne and Bennett, have the exact, and when I mean exact, I mean the exact same stats. There's one single thing that isn't the same. Except they're just, one's right-handed, one's left-handed, one's older, one's younger. One was drafted in the 3rd round, one was drafted in the 4th round. And then our first overall pick, defensive defenseman elite, Steven Lutz. So that's what we were able to get in this draft. Those were our big picks. We don't need to do anything with our defense. Our goaltending we can leave, but there are quite a few things we have to do on offense, and that would include signing Brad Marchand. So I'm going to see if we can get him for less years for still cheap. I'm not sure if he's going to accept that, but we can only hope. Rantanen, I'm going to give him 1 year to prove himself. Hopefully he will still grow. Grigorenko at 3 years or even 8 years at a long term, he really is not worth it yet. I wouldn't mind signing him for another 1 year contract or something like that, or even trading him this year in this free agency. But I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. I really hope that he has a place. I know he has scored 20 goals before, so that's a big thing. Brad Marchand re-signed, so that was awesome. Got him for a good deal. Mikko Rantanen signed. And I'd be curious to see if we could get Grigorenko for an insanely good deal, but I'm going to pass on that for now. I'm hoping nobody signs him. You know what? Let's try it. We'll give him 1 year. We'll give him like 1 year contract for maybe $5 million, but I'm not sure. I really would like to just hold on to him and see if we can trade him for something. Can we get him for he's not really 4.25 for 1 year. It's almost guaranteed he will not take that, but I mean, Brad Marchand, we did 3 years and for even less money, so I'd be curious to see if we get this to go through. No, we can't. So let's just go into free agency, see if there's anybody available that we could acquire. We only need maybe 1 forward possibly to replace Grigorenko, because we do have a lot of young guys coming up, especially Yakubov. He had a great season last year, he got like 15 goals, 40 points or something like that, so he was pretty good. There's not really too many guys. Braden Shen isn't a bad pickup if you want a defensive guy for the penalty kill, plus he could get offense. That seems like a very good pickup, but he's only hit 60 points, 30 goals 1 season, and that's when he's going to want tons of money, $7 million for 4 years. And we are not that kind of a team that can just throw that money that way. But Grigorenko potentially could return. Teams might end up getting interested in him, and then we may have to either let him go or accept draft picks and compensation, which I wouldn't mind, but I'd rather just trade him for another forward because we do need a forward. Reed Boucher, there you go. We're set for life. Let's go to goalies for a second, just to double check every category. And plus, you guys get to see if there's something I maybe missed. Goalies, Mrazek, 89 overall. We do not need Mrazek. We got Varlamov. We got who's that guy? Plekhanov. We got him as a prospect guy to come up and potentially even be the backup this next season coming up. So that could be good. Alsner and Ghost-Spear. You guys have been telling me to get a puck-moving defenseman, and now Ghost-Spear is actually available. What are his stats last year? You know what? I'm going to try and see if I can sign him. I think this could be really good. 3 years. If we can get him 3 years, at least 30. Yeah, I would take that. 3 years at 5 million potentially. 4.75 is he'll probably sign with another team, but it's just not really. It's just a potential. If he wants to sign, then we can get him for a decent deal, and that could be really nice because you guys have been telling me for a puck moving defenseman for a while. Begrass is not really turned into that guy. Zadorov's only 84 overall as a defensive defenseman, and Lutz is not quite there yet. He could grow, but I don't think he'll be growing super quick. I did say we don't need defensemen, but I mean, the Ghost of Spear could be quite a good defenseman to add. We don't actually have an offensive defenseman. We have Barry, but he's two-way. So, is there any role players that are really good? See, 3 years at 1.2, we could get a steal like that. But let's pass on that for a sec. Centers, second liner, and Marcus Granlund could get him for steal, but I'd pass on that for now. Hinestroza. I believe this guy had a very good season last year. 48 points, -1. I'd love to try and see if we can convert him into a good depth player for us, but we don't really need depth guys like that. So I will pass on him. We'd have to put him in the top 6 in order for him to be really utilized in the best way possible, but that's not happening. So. Is there any defensive forwards that we could get for depth, like really good defensive categories? Shen, Lowry, and Kreider. So no one really available for the PK. Maybe Como for depth, but I think we're pretty much done here. We just need to look into a trade for Grigorenko and see if Ghost of Spear signs. Oh, wait. I did not check potential. At least I don't think I did. Not for forwards. Let's go quickly go check and see if there's anybody available for potential-wise. 24 years old, Josh Hosang. He has some really nice offensive stats. 60, got lots of points in the AHL. Maybe a chance. He's an RFA, but that's not a bad gamble if we do sign him. AHL, Reed Boucher killed it. He wants to play in the NHL now. Hope he gets the chance. Breland, sniper, top 9, not much. I don't really see much other guys here. Schlappick, Quenneville. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. Nothing to see. So let's go and I will go into the trade market and see if there's any forwards that are available and that Grigorenko wants to go to. I mean, okay, I'll show you guys just because, I mean, we're only like 8 minutes in, so lots of guys looking for a top 6 scorer. Well, not much of a scorer. He actually had 18 points at 23 games on that playoff run, so it was a good deal. Corey Perry, Nathan would hate me if I got him, but you know what? I'm not really looking to trade for a veteran guy. I'm kind of looking for just a sniper that actually maybe gets more assists, possibly more goals than assists. But just because I'd like to find someone to put with McKinnon. If we can get a top line player, that'd be awesome. But I have to make sure that it somewhat makes sense. So I'll only trade to Eastern Conference teams or divisional teams that just don't fit. Okposo 32, 3 years left at 6 mil, 2 years left at 5.9. I think that's not the greatest deal there. Nylander, but he's a bit of a lower overall player, so I'd kind of pass on that. Is there anybody? Teravainen. Excuse me. Sonny Milano, he's not quite developed into a stud. Not bad. Dubois, we could trade for Dubois. Look for a potential second line center if we have to replace one of our other guys in Duchesne and Monahan. Duchesne and McKinnon. Tkachuk, wow, they got some studs there in Calgary for pretty good deals too. Forward, there's 2 defensemen there in Keith and Seabrook, but we're looking for forwards. Panarin, 86 overall. 1 year left at 5.9. They would be looking to give a guy like this up. Yes, coming off a 70-point year, 20 goals, lots of assists. I think I would do that. I would go for a deal like that. They'd be looking for a Grigorenko a bit younger, so they... I mean, Panarin's only 2 years older, but they'd have to sign Grigorenko now, but I would definitely take that. Is there any potential, guys? I saw someone. Fratton. 80 overall, power forward, fourth line forward. Doesn't look too bad, but nothing really available there. Is there any other defenseman forward prospects? Nothing too big. Okay, so how about defensive forwards? Not Jonathan Taves. Just because, I mean, if you can ever find a really, really good defensive forward to go in there, then that would be pretty steady. Anisimov was actually very well for the penalty kill, but it's just because we lost, what's his name? That other guy a while ago. So Panarin straight up for Grigorenko would be probably the best trade that I would be willing to do, just because I'd rather have a guy like Panarin. I think he would help McKinnon score more. So I'll keep that in the back of my head. I don't mind trading. I just don't want a guy really over 30, really. Okay, guys, so this is what we got here. We got Grigorenko for Vrana, a second, Nordgren, and Deneen. I'm going to turn that second into a third just because I don't think that will go really through. Plus, I think that's a bit more fair considering they have to sign Grigorenko and such. So anyways, guys, that's the trade. Let's see, will it go through? And even though it's quite close to fair value, they're not accepting it. So let's take out that third. Maybe add in a fourth because we've drafted well with that fourth. Right? That's how it works. Let's trade away a seventh just because we don't need all these draft picks. Okay, there you go. Adding a fourth and a seventh. Will it go through? And I'm happy to accept this proposal on behalf of the Washington Capitals, and we consider it a done deal. There you go. So not a bunch of happy faces with the trade of Mikhail Grigorenko, but I think Vrana, cap-wise and player-wise, I think we're getting a better player, and Grigorenko just didn't fit. Let's see. Glad to join the team. I'll make sure this trade looks good for you. Don't get complacent. We're always evaluating our roster. Welcome aboard. I think that was a trade that will leave both teams happy. When you can bring a lot to the table, which is why I traded for you, go prove it. Let's be motivating to him. His morale improved. There you go. So that worked out pretty nicely. We did trade away, in quotations, I guess, a quality player in Grigorenko. He didn't have a great season, and I think that was a big thing. As a sniper, you gotta score a bit more, and Vrana, I think, will be a much better player long term. So if we do sign Goes to Spear, that opens up a spot to move a defenseman down. Hosang accepted our offer. Let's see, and Goes to Spear decided to go to the Rangers. That's okay. I'm completely fine with that. Hosang, yes, we get it. Not to match your offer. There you go. So we got Josh Hosang for depth. He could potentially become something as well. Good offensive stats. We could try playing with McKinnon and such. And a puck-moving defenseman for Kyle Kaiser. Montour. Let's see. What are we getting in Montour? Top 4 defenseman. 2 years at 3.8 for Kyle Kaiser. Really? Okay, you know what? I like the high AHL starter, and I've seen Kaiser get very good, but we have lots of other goalies, so I'm going to take this trade. Montour. I know I'm making a trade just to make a trade, but we're getting a great defenseman with Brandon Montour. I don't want to lose chance. So there you go. We got a quality player again. So lots of trades being made this off season. Wow, that was kind of exciting. So anyways, guys, I did skip a bit of the trade stuff that I was going through. I decided that after showing Panarin that it would just make sense just to skip to the next thing. So that was sort of my mindset. And I don't think Panarin necessarily... He would have been a great pickup value-wise as well. But I like Vrana because he's younger, better cap. And, I mean, he's definitely proven himself. And I'm hoping that, I mean, if he gets the same overall as Grigorenko, I think that's a great trade for us. Montour, we added an offensive defenseman, possibly even to go to the top 6, the top 4. I mean, we have so many defensemen now, so do we need to trade someone? We can put Lutz, I think, in the... No, he's 20 years old, so we'd need to play in the NHL. I'll play him in the NHL. Maybe with Montour, that could be a good starting point for him. Or you can play him with Barry, whatever you guys think. Zadorov and Bigras. Do we need to trade Bigras? I mean, I think Zadorov is the guy who needs to stay. But we could get rid of him. I mean, it's you guys' choice. After losing the cup a couple years ago, we have moved out quite a few guys, Soderberg, and now we just moved out Grigorenko. And we were able to keep Marchand, but he'll need to go as well. So I think getting a younger guy in Vrana, I'm hoping that was the right move. Trading for a lower overall player, I'm kind of shaky about sometimes, but I think in the stage we're at, I think this is a good trade to make. I think this will be our last season with the team, boys. I know you guys are probably wanting to see what Lutz becomes, and maybe I'll make another video to skip up into years to see if he becomes that top-notch defenseman we want. But you guys can let me know. What did you think of the trades we made? All that such stuff. And I'd like to actually start the season in this video. So let me go start up the. Let me go do all the roster moves and such, and then we will get started with the season. Okay guys, we are back, and I finished up the line changes for the start of our Year 5 season. Here we got Landeskog, McKinnon, Vrana. I'm going to try and see if he can get something going with McKinnon. Then we got Marchand, Duchesne, and Turris. You got Pavel Vorbev, Colborne, and Patan. And then we got on the fourth line Rantanen, Kruger, and Yakubov. Scratch players, we have Hosang, Malak, and Grunstrom. Hopefully these guys don't get super mad at us, but I mean, you know what? Well, we just gotta, if we're winning, that should be fine, no matter what happens. I'm gonna try Zadorov with Barry. We'll see how that goes. You guys can let me know if you want me to really play Lutz on the top line, but for now, I'm just gonna play him in his role, and we'll see how that works out. Montour, I'm gonna play him with Bigras and Truba on that on the fourth pairing, and yeah, there you go. Power play, this is what I decided to make up of the power play. You guys can pause it if you want to check it out. And PK, I made sure to get I mean, I just left Turris on there because that's what the game said, and I mean, he has solid defensive categories, and his role is a first liner, so if he's not playing top line minutes, I mean, this is where he's going to get his ice time. Again, Lutz was playing on the bottom PK unit. Turris and Marchand there. 3-on-3 there. I just left basically the 3-on-3 the way it was. Extra attackers, goalies, scratched, and there you go. AHL, I just basically left it because the top guys, our top prospects are basically getting played, so we should be okay. Goalies, Plekhanov, and there you go. Okay, so we're going to see how these lines work for the first month or so probably, and then that will be the episode. Player morale, let's go quickly check it out. It's probably someone complaining about the trade of Grigorenko or not. It's Hosang. I hope to join the list of successful free agent signings. You won't regret signing me. You need to perform. I think you'll do great. Let's just motivate him. Doesn't jive with him, so he's morale dropped. So we got to deal with it. Let's go simulate the preseason, and then we will get the first month done. And depending on how that goes, we may do another month, but I think 1 month is good for now, just because you guys can let me know what you thought about the moves that we made in this episode, and then obviously if there's anything else we should do with the lines, especially regarding Lutz, because we did draft him first overall, and we don't want him to become a bust like Yakubov. And I'm talking about our Yakubov and Nail Yakubov. So let's go with forwards for 1 month. Holy crap, that's not the WHL. I don't like this. I really don't like this. Okay, we're good. Okay, it just went for 3 weeks. I'm gonna save it as quick as possible. I'll let it do the preseason though. Holy crap, we destroyed 2 teams. Shootout loss. Again, it doesn't matter. It's just preseason, so just warming up to our teammates. We got lots of offense though, which is nice to see. Not the greatest record, 2-2-2, but yeah, as long as we're getting offense, because that was definitely a big issue in last year's playoffs and even in the season. So we're definitely we should be an offensive team with all the studs we have. No, I don't want to go to rules. I want to go to save. Please, please, please. Save file. Let's save it right here. And we're good. Overwrite current file. It's saved. We're okay. So if it glitches out on me, we'll just redo. Processing, come on. Okay, so we will start the season if this wants to finish up. Okay, we're good. We're good. We'll start the season now, and we'll see how Vrana and McKinnon play together. I think that's the biggest. We really need McKinnon to play like a 90 overall player. Like a lot of you guys have probably agreed with me on that, because he's only really had one 60-plus point season. He's played 4 years for us. We did win a cup, but I mean, I'd like to see more production out of him. So we'll see how that works out. 2 games against Nashville right off the bat. We get a win and a shootout loss. So they really like playing in shootouts, apparently. They're in Nashville. Scouting trip was done. Let's quickly defenseman for 3 weeks. I usually do 1 month, but I just didn't want to do defenseman for too long. So game against Winnipeg, divisional game, we lost that 3-1. That's not great. So we're 1-1-1. It's really even here. I'd really hope that we could get off to a good start this video. That would be really nice. New Jersey, we got a win there, so that's nice. Can we pull ahead and win some games against these Western Conference teams? A bit of a road trip here. Pacific Division opponents. Get a loss against LA and another loss against Arizona. So not great. A lot of 1-goal, 2-goal losses. So it's close, but we're not quite getting the wins, and we need the wins for the points so we can make the playoffs, right? And that's a shootout win, so that's a lot of. We haven't been able to be a dominant team like I think we should. So I will leave it there. Not actually sure what the time is on this video. It says 43 minutes, but that's because I never paused the recording, and that was just doing all the lines and trades and stuff. So when you're as good as me, Patan says these are just like the norm. You could always do better, bud. Come on. Demanded too much out of him. That's kind of unfortunate. I would hope that as a veteran on this team, he would be appreciative, but no, he's not like that. Locker room chemistry went back up to 79, but it's dropping from there. Hopefully we can step it back up in the next episode. You guys can let me know what you think of the lines. And here, let's go to points. That way you guys can get a better view. So Duchesne has 9 points, so we are getting points from Duchesne. That's nice to see. Let's see, goals. 3 goals, 2 goals for Montour. Bunch of minuses. -4 for McKinnon, but he is getting 6 points, so that's a bit better. Vrana, 5 points. Yeah, we're letting in way too many goals. I think it is our goaltending. Yeah, it could be. No, Varlamov's actually playing pretty good. Neuvirth, obviously not the best goalie anymore, but defensively, Trouba, Zadorov, Bigras. So maybe playing guys like Lutz and Montour or something like that. You guys can let me know what you think. I think losing Johnson was a bit of a defensive loss, but you know what? We're gonna have to deal with it. So you guys can let me know what lines you think we should make for the next one, and I hope that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.